Hello everyone, and welcome to part one of my series of videos where I showcase my 100 favorite songs of all time. And this list is going to be vastly different. At least this part of the list is going to be vastly different than a lot of you watching this is going to expect, because there's little or no rock music on this part of the list. As the countdown continues, there'll be songs more of what you expect to hear from me on the list. But these songs, even though most of these are not rock songs, are still special to me for many reasons. And warn you, on some of these I might get a little personal. I'll try not to do that too much. But there's some deep personal reasons why I love some of these songs. And this is my opinion. And you might not agree, but we can agree to disagree. And go from there. So without any further ado, I will start with number 100. Number 100 is The Greatest Love of All by Whitney Houston. Now, one thing that has always made this song stick with me is the greatest love of all is learning to love yourself, is what the song is saying. And self-esteem and my self-image is something that I have struggled with in my life, continue to struggle with to this day. But that song has been an encouragement to me. And I think there's even a passage in the Bible saying you can't learn to love others unless you love yourself. Could be wrong, but I think there's something in the Bible alluding to that. So that's on there because of the encouragement it gives me. Song number 99. Love in the First Degree by the country band Alabama. Now, when I was younger, a lot of the music I heard was from the radio. And a good bulk of the time, a radio station in my house was on a country station. And I heard a lot of Alabama, and I got to really like Alabama, but I thought Love in the First Degree was a nice little love song, saying love, being in love with somebody, even if it's a crime, even if it be a crime, he's not ashamed to admit he's guilty of it. I just thought it had a little nice sentiment behind it. So that's number 99. Number 98 is a song that in 1975, I believe it came out. And it started off as a pop song, and I believe the artist's name was David Chapey, something along those lines. And then, I think later in the same year, a country artist named Kenny Starr covered it. And again, listening to the country radio station, I heard the country version of the song, Blind Man in the Bleachers. And I heard it early in the morning one morning before going off to school. And the song stuck with me the rest of the day. Talking about a high school football player, an American football player, who his dad, even though he was blind, faithfully came to his games And his son was second string, so he didn't really get to play. But the blind man was in the bleachers, anxiously awaiting to hear his son's name over the PA system that his son got in the game. And then the last game of the season, the blind man's absence is noticeable. And as the game continues, as the game progresses, more and more people on the team begin to get hurt. So the second stringers have to go in. So at halftime, this kid knows he's going to be playing in the second half. But he makes a phone call during halftime and is late getting back to the field for the second half. But he finally gets in the game and he plays his heart out. And his team comes back and wins the last game of the year. And the coach asks this kid after the game, what inspired him to play so well? And he says, well, you know, my dad was blind. Today he passed away. It's the first time he ever saw me play. So he went out there and played the game of his life as a tribute to his dad, knowing that his dad was looking down on him, smiling. And I've not heard this song very much, but it's always stayed with me. And I played it again yesterday, preparing to do this video. And yesterday, of course, was Father's Day, and it made me think of my dad. And I pray that my dad is looking down on me, and I've done something. No matter what it may be, I've done something to make him proud. The next song is Stranger in My House by Ronnie Milsap. Now, this is a song that, in my opinion anyway, the style of it is kind of on the edge of country and rock. The guitar solo in it very much sounds like a rock guitar solo. And again, going back to my dad for a little bit, Stranger in My House, I remember hearing it on the radio and thought it was a catchy song. And it was one of the first songs that we discussed what the lyrics of the song were trying to convey. Which for somebody my age at the time couldn't comprehend the suspicion of the guy in the song of that his wife was having an affair. I couldn't comprehend that, being the age I am now. But now that I'm older, being more experienced in what the song might be talking about in a way, it's one that I've revisited quite often. Now, the next song is a song that is probably the closest thing to rock in this part of the countdown. And that is Ride Like the Wind by Christopher Cross. Came out late 70s, early 80s. And I always remember being mesmerized listening to it as a kid by the piano part in it. My foot would get to tapping whenever I'd hear it on the radio. At a friend's house or wherever I might be at the time. And hearing the guy talking about riding his motorcycle because he has to get away from the law and everything. The song surges my adrenaline. The song, I feel a surge in adrenaline when I hear the song. So that's the reason why that's on the countdown. So now we're on to a part where the remaining songs in this part of the countdown are by one artist. Song number 94. And this artist we lost just recently, within the last 2-3 months, maybe a little more. But it's an artist I've always liked and respected, even though I've not vocalized it. And this part of the countdown is dedicated to the late, great Kenny Rogers. So in song number 94, The Gambler. Who doesn't have even a smidgen of nostalgia for that song? The song is not only good advice for gambling, but it's good advice for life. And every time I hear the song, I can picture myself being on that train, having the conversation Kenny Rogers has with the man. And then the man drifting off to sleep and passing away is, I think the song alliterates to that man passing away in his sleep after he talks to Kenny Rogers. So another song that sticks with me. Song number 93. She Believes in Me. About a man going out, making a career, in trying to make a career in music, playing dives, wanting to give up, but the belief of his wife, girlfriend, significant other, whoever they might be, is the thing that spurs him on. Song number 92. Lady. Just a beautiful love song. Just a beautiful love song by Kenny Rogers. Song number 92. The duet he did with, I believe it was Sheena Easton. I might be wrong on that, but I believe it was Sheena Easton, the duet he did with her for the song We Got Tonight. Another beautiful song. And song number 90, I hope I got this all counted right. Song number 90, You Were a Good Friend. Song makes me think about a lot of good friends I haven't talked with or about in a while. And some of them have passed on. Like the friend he's alluding to in this song. So again, the common thread with all of these songs is it pulls my heartstrings. And that one's no different. So there's my list of the first 10, I believe. Hopefully my counting was right. If it's not, who knows who knows how many songs are going to end up ultimately being on this countdown. But there's my first list of songs. Next video, we'll get into more of the songs that I traditionally, and bands I traditionally talk about on my channel. Hope you enjoyed it for what it was. Until I talk to you again, enjoy the music.